To that sound, and there it is. It's a little cringy, I feel like, to hear this morning.
Good word.
A little bit, now that we know the result and we've dissected this a little, but nonetheless, he wanted to hold him.
Can't hold him. First of all, you can't even.
Hold him for what? Hold
two
him
of them
what?
evaporate. Well, he wants to have one in case he needs an appeal. In case there's a call he wants to
need them for
appeal. Okay, so I understand keeping one, but you have the game in your control. And I'm not talking about the last 2 minutes. I'm talking about from 7.5 minutes on. If you stop the flow, you stop the momentum in the 6 or 5 minute mark with both of those timeouts, if you have to call them back to back, you've earned yourself enough time and gotten your players enough rest. Because yes, they had just played those two long series, 7-game series. Donovan Mitchell I thought, is he so hurt that he can't touch the ball? He's on the right side of the floor, out of the action in overtime. James Harden is going up the left side with the ball. James Harden hasn't hit anything, and Donovan Mitchell's not touching the ball. What is this? A coach has to see that diagnosis quickly and say, well, time out. Let's organize here. None of that. So this, and by the way, when you spin it forward, how do you get the room back? That's your soundbite? You think players don't see this stuff? They don't see the clips? So you're not taking accountability. You should be out there in front saying, fellas, this was on me. This was on me for not calling the timeouts, for not changing things up. You couch it as you have to couch it. You do that because you're looking forward to a game 48 hours in the same city, and you got to get that group back. How do you do it? With that, I don't see it happening.
Well, 100%. I don't know about the players, and we'll see how they respond. Two things that I should mention. First off, they missed 4 free throws in the last 7 minutes of the game. Yeah. Allen missed 2 for Harden, and those are huge points. Number 2, it was a spotty call, and it hurt him. Foster, who I love as an official, he called away from the ball, a loose ball foul on an OG missed free throw on Merrill. They got a 3 out of it. So they got a 4-point play right off a missed free throw, and this is during this little comeback. Because remember, they're up 20. Think about this for a second. They're up 22, and they got a huge 3. They're up 5. Mm-hmm. It was 94-89, and then Mobley made a huge 3 with 3 minutes left. You figure maybe that will settle things down. And the other thing I was thinking about, and then we'll throw it back to Stevie, I was thinking about 2 things, and it's funny how karma works. To me, I love this stuff. Last year, the Knicks blow the 14-point lead to Indiana in Game 1 in the conference final, and Halliburton hits a shot, and they get that one back here today. Cleveland down 9 with 3 minutes to go in Game 5 in Detroit, which they never should have won, and they gave one back. It's amazing. You win one like that, eventually you get a shot and go blow.
1 day shy of exactly a year.
Is it 1 year? Good job.
All right, so we've pointed a lot of blame at Kenny Atkinson, deservedly so. But Stephen A., do you think Donovan Mitchell should absolve some of this blame for what also happened down the stretch last night?
Well, certainly if you're the starter team and you're averaging 27 a game against the New York Knicks, and your last field goal comes with 8 minutes left in regulation, that's a problem. There's no doubt about that. You can't absolve him from it. What I'm saying is the coach didn't help him because clearly he was exhausted. He was spent. Donovan Mitchell is not one to stand around, and the Cavaliers are not one to design things schematically for him to just be standing around. And so because that was the reality, you got to look at it and say fatigue definitely played a role. There's no doubt about that. But in the same breath, you know what? You're Donovan Mitchell. You've got to find a way to be better than that. That's the difference. That's what we expect from superstars in this game. You got to find a way to answer the call, to dig deeper, and to find something inside of yourself to get something done. And he didn't do that. There's no doubt about it. I'm not completely absolving him. I'm just saying he's not the main culprit for the Cleveland Cavaliers. That would fall on the shoulders of the coach and, of course, James Harden getting abused the way that he was. I'm really, really serious. I don't know if James Harden is going to recover from this. We all know the sport of basketball. There are so many things that go in the stuff schematically in various other sports. But what I pride myself and what I love about the game of basketball, at some point in time, it's you against that dude. At some point in time in the game, not for the whole game or anything like that, but it comes down to you against that dude. One of the great moments that I saw in NBA, I always bring this up, Doggy and Wilbon, when KD first arrived in Golden State. If you remember, You know, when LeBron was in Miami and him and D Wade and Bosh and the crew got the best of Oklahoma City, a young Oklahoma City squad, when he had Russell Westbrook and James Harden coming off the bench, the Serge Ibakas of the world, and Kendrick Perkins and other guys like that, that was different. That was one thing. When KD decides to go to Golden State and he's in the finals, one of the moments that I loved is that he scores his first bucket of the game. I think it was the first bucket, the first or second bucket of the game. And then he clapped his hands and spread his arms and was guarding LeBron like, yeah, let's go. In other words, it's my time now. And we wanted to see that kind of matchup. If you saw Vince Carter in his day when he was doing things and then he goes on a court against Kobe and it's like Kobe, like, yeah, let's go. D Wade sits up there and messes up Kobe's nose or his face or whatever during All-Star weekend. And then one of their first games after All-Star break came back. It was in LA at the Staples Center and D Wade and Kobe was going at one another. It was like, yeah, let's go. It's moments like that that basketball gives you that a lot of sports aren't able to give you. And when you see that happen like last night where Jalen Brunson hits 9 of his last 10 shots or 8 of his last 9 shots and is just abusing Harden. But Harden and Mitchell answer by missing 9 of their last 10 shots. You're like, this is basketball. This is what we love about it right now. We gonna find out who's who. And that's what we saw last night. Jalen Brunson looking at Harden and was like, yo, appreciate your greatness, your years of service. But there's something different here right now. And you ain't on this level. That's what we saw last night from Jalen Brunson. That's the kind of stuff that you wait to see in the sport of basketball.
I would be, listen, the Knicks recovered, but they were terrible for the first 38 minutes. They were terrible. The Knicks were playing, and Oklahoma City wasn't great either, so maybe the layoff.
9 days rest.
With this.
Yeah.
9 days rest.
Yeah, 9 days. I think you're right,
expected the Knicks to be down. I said yesterday, I thought the Knicks would be down 7 to 10 points at halftime, and they would play their way back. Not 20. 93-73. You look at the score then with 7+ minutes left, and you're thinking, yeah, I don't remember the actual words, this is over. But you don't think you're going to be seeing the Knicks outscore Cleveland from that point 44-11.
Yeah,
it's almost not possible.
And remember, they were up 38-29. Well, they may have been even 39-28. They were up 11 in the second quarter, so they were down 22, and they were up 11. So there was a 33-point swing for the Cavaliers. But maybe that's how you win championships.
So the
a lousy night, you figure out you do a miracle.
The teams trailing by 20 points in the fourth quarter this year, the entire league was 1-521 when trailing by 20 points.
Unbelievable.
In the fourth quarter.
It is improbable. It does. So now, really quick, you think about the psychology of this now, right? I know you said the series is over. It doesn't. Would you even give the Cavs one game here, or do you think it's going to be a New York sweep?
I might give the Cavs a game.
Okay, one game.
Max.
Okay, what about you? Do you think the series is over?
I think the Knicks come out and bludgeon them Thursday. It's just hard to see. I know they've come. The most overused word in sports is resilient. Not everybody's resilient. Cleveland has been in this postseason. They've gotten down in both these series and come back to win those series. The Knicks are a better team than either one of the two they beat. And I don't see it. It was interesting just talking to some Hall of Famers who were in the building last night. And then just reaching out to a couple of guys. Because everybody is texting everybody else expressing disbelief over what they saw. Right. But the other expression, which was almost unanimous, Doggy, I found was, this is done. Mm-hmm. They're not coming back from this. I'm talking about basketball lifers that I was talking to and listening to.
Wow, interesting. Stevie?
What do you think?
You can't lose like this. I mean, again, there is a difference. If you lose this game because it's nip and tuck, you're going back and forth, and then, you know what, they just come out on top, that's a game one loss. That's all it is. But demoralization kicks in when stuff like last night happens. The New York Knicks came storming back, and it wasn't just about everybody hitting shots. Yeah, Mikal Bridges hit 2 big-time threes, and so did Landry Shamet, and we get that part. But when Jalen Brunson goes out there and busts your ass, I mean, and you have no answer for that whatsoever. Demoralization kicks in. It's the equivalent of getting your heart snatched out of your chest. And I had the New York Knicks winning this series in 6 games. Now I see it in 5. Like Wilbon said, I see the Knicks winning game 2 because they can't lose game 2 because everything that we're saying, let's keep in mind, it goes right out the window if Cleveland turns around and comes back and wins game 2. It goes right out the window. But we don't foresee that happening. So if the New York Knicks go up 2-0, then it's about winning both games in Cleveland. I think the New York Knicks can steal one, and then they come back for game 5 and they close the deal.
It was the Knicks' largest playoff comeback